What if setting boundaries isn't selfish at all, but it's the holiest way to love God, to love yourself, and love others well? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. I'll do it. Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah. Send me a text. Yeah. Send me when. Yes, I could do it. Yes, I could do it. If that was exhausting to you and freaked you out, then that's exactly what I wanted you to feel. Because we as Christians, again, in this niceness, doing for others, we have to serve. We say yes to everything. And I said it in the slow down episode. We are doing so much. We say yes to so many things: church, at home, with our kids, sports, friends. And it's one thing to say yes to those things, but in addition to that, we tend to feel guilty or carry shame for saying no. And for whatever reason, that guilt or shame pops up for saying no. It keeps us stuck. Saying yes keeps us stuck because in doing that, we don't have the time for introspection. In doing that, we don't have the time for the things that matter. We're rushing and moving and doing and constantly saying yes to everything that's in front of us. And we don't take enough time to just be with ourselves, to be with the Father, and to hear what the Holy Spirit is saying. So when we lack healthy boundaries, we don't love ourselves well, and we cannot love others well. Further, when we don't have healthy boundaries, we actively fracture these relationships versus building them up. And I'm going to explain all of that. Number one, boundaries. What is a boundary? I just saw a couple weeks ago a therapist on Instagram, and she was explaining the differences between boundaries and expectations and all of these things, these terms we just throw around. And I loved what she had to say about boundaries. She said, a boundary is what I do when a line is crossed. They are for me. I do not necessarily have to share a boundary, but a boundary is the thing that I am going to do when I feel dismissed or hurt or stepped on or whatever it may be in interpersonal relationship, interpersonal communication. So when it comes to Christians and how we live our lives, again, we take the fruit of the Spirit and we make it a checklist of things that I need to do or things that I should be doing, rather than allowing of the Holy Spirit doing a work in me. So when I, as a Christian, do not have healthy boundaries, it is more often than not coming from a place of trying to prove to others or prove to myself that I have this fruit of the Spirit. But that, as you know, if you've been listening this whole season, that's not how this works. As a Christian, I have to know myself so that I can present accordingly. We keep saying yes because we are not aware of ourselves. We are not aware that we are chasing something that we can never get that space filled on our own. So whether we're looking for validation or we're trying to be nice or we don't want to say no and we feel guilty when we say no or whatever it may be, if I am not aware of this, if I'm not allowing the Holy Spirit to show me these things, then I keep going. I burn out and then I just stop serving altogether. I snap on my kids. I'm mad at my spouse, whatever it may be. I put myself in these spots. Again, going back to last week, if I have an issue or if I have a problem, if I have something I need to speak up about, I have to speak up and speak that truth in love and then remove myself. Something that I say all the time to people, the boundary may look the same. The boundary may look the same. I will love you from a distance. I can do dinner once a week and I cannot talk about this. If this subject is brought up or if this topic is brought up, I'm out. Now, again, I do not have to share this boundary because the boundary is for me. Prime example, I have a coworker who is an atheist. And so because we talk business and we talk podcasts and all this stuff all the time, I know she does not care about the things that Jesus does. And so I do not share with her that I don't share the things that Jesus is doing. Does the conversation die? Oh, it dies a lot because there's a lot of Jesus that's happening in my life. But I don't have to share with her, hey, just so you know, yeah, it's a lot of Jesus stuff happening and like you don't care. And I just feel dismissed. And no, I don't have to say all of that. When it comes to Jesus, that's not a part that she wants to hear, so I don't need to share. That is a boundary for me. Now, the thing about a boundary is the motive is what matters. The motive is what matters. If I'm saying, well, I'm not going to share nothing about Jesus because she don't even want to listen. She don't even care about. That's the wrong heart. That's the wrong approach. Because I'm still angry. I'm still upset. I'm still not processing the things that I actually feel for the boundary to be there. But if I can stand here and go, I mean, she really does not care to hear about Jesus. So I just don't talk about Jesus. Now they know everything that is happening with me. I give all that glory to Jesus. But do I have to show and tell her every working that the Holy Spirit is doing? No. But that's a boundary for me so that I don't feel dismissed, so that I don't feel upset, so that I don't get angry. And that's not selfish. It continues to build the relationship, and further, she still gets to see and hear what Jesus is doing. I don't necessarily explicitly say that Jesus is doing this, but that's a boundary that I have created for me. Again, the motive matters. If I am angry and I set up a boundary to remove myself or to not share or whatever that may be, that's a different story. I need to walk through that emotional process. I need to get to a place that will help build the relationship and build clarity in love. And until I get to that point, I'm not going to say don't institute the boundary. But I do say you need to let the Holy Spirit help you with the motive behind said boundary. If I am honest with myself about the boundary, then I can be honest with everyone else about the boundary. Obviously, the situations may be different. It may be, hey, whoever at church, I'm tired and I need to take a break. That's a boundary. Hey, I see on Planning Center that when nobody has signed up, you send me a text and I say yes every time. And I do not get the pleasure of sitting with my family in church when I want to. So I'm working on me. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. I love doing this, but I have to set up this boundary for the sake of my family, for the sake of me being the person I want to be, for the sake of me living the life I want to live with Jesus. I have to say no. Boundaries keep me healthy and they keep my relationships healthy. Because here's the thing, if people can know why you stepped away or why you're doing said thing, why, they now know how and when to approach. Whether that's, again, in my church, in my home, with my kids, with my friends, my extended family, whoever it may be, if I am going to share, it will make the relationship that much healthier. One, it is already healthy if I can be honest with myself. If I can be honest with myself, that is healthy spot number one. If me and the Holy Spirit can say, hey, I cannot do this, and set up a boundary, by all means. And if and when you choose to extend that to the person, again, clarity and love, speaking up, being honest. If I can give that to them and let them know and they understand, it changes the whole game. When it comes to sharing said boundary, honesty is key with yourself and with others. I am here to build the relationship. Again, every boundary is different. Do I think that it matters to her to know that I'm not talking about Jesus to her? I don't think so. Does it matter to my wife that I have stopped doing this or that with the kids or whatever it may be? Yes, I think it does matter. If I am changing who I am as a person in my marriage or with my kids or in my church, by all means. If there's an expectation that you are no longer going to meet because of said boundary, by all means, share when you're ready. But being honest about where you are is the biggest part. It is okay to say no. It is okay not to do. And it is okay to feel free in that. Jesus legitimately came to redeem us. The Holy Spirit guides us through sanctification. So learning when to say no and how to explain why is part of the process. Learning when to say no and how to explain why is part of the sanctification process. When we are building our lives together, it is the least we owe to each other is honesty. The least we owe each other. So with a boundary, again, you are just simply letting others know what to expect from you while staying true to your word and staying true to yourself. That's all the boundary is. And again, depending on the situation and what their expectation has been of you, if that expectation is changing, there has to be some honesty in why that expectation is changing. But if their expectation of you is not changing in said boundary, please make sure that you and the Holy Spirit get to a place of being grounded in a healthy emotional process of said boundary. So what areas do you need more boundaries? Do you need a boundary? What boundaries do you already have that need a new motive? If it was set up in anger or hurt or sadness, I would say we need to revisit those. So as always, if you want more steps to this, please download the worksheet. If you have not purchased the workbook, please purchase the workbook because it has 5 new questions and a challenge for the next 7 days. Remember, shift happens on purpose.